Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
These 4 seconds forever changed the landscape of the internet on June 10th of 2024. Am I exaggerating when I say that? Maybe, but one thing is for sure though, and that is that the Hawk Tuah Girl here, real name Haliey Welch, forever had her life changed when this initial Instagram clip went on to go viral on the internet and lead her to a social media career that brought her lucrative deals and opportunities, but then have most of it be squandered away after making the blunderous decision of launching her very own meme token to promote to her surprisingly large audience, which has now effectively shrunken her viewership and influence down to a fraction of what she had before. Our story here begins on the Tim and D TV Instagram page on June 10th, 2024, when this reel here of Haliey spitting out her infamous catchphrase caught the attention of their audience and many others who would see this reel come up on their page. I don't think that I gotta explain the intricacies of why a number of people out there found this clip to be humorous. I mean, it's an onomatopoeia for a sex move. What else is there to say? Well, over the coming days, as the video and re-uploads of it went on to gain more and more traction, it reached the levels of where even the older demographics, they got wind of it and thought that it was the most hilarious thing on the planet, and thus pushed this clip to levels that one didn't think would be possible with this short amount of time. To put it simply, this moment became a multi-generational topic of discussion as the older folks found this fairly simple phrase and moment to be unironically hilarious, while younger generations who are exposed to more niche and funnier content and memes online, they just saw it as another boomer meme and found irony in blowing it up with their own takes on it, thus pushing Haliey's status in internet stardom to massive levels that even Ninja couldn't take his little taper fade into. So yeah, the meme is blowing up, right? Within about a week's time of its debut, and merch now starts being made of the Hawk Tuah phenomenon. Outside parties try to capitalize off of the meme, and Haliey, in a way to combat this, partners up and releases official merch and hats, which go on to sell in the thousands and brings in tens of thousands in revenue. With her growth and popularity, rumors started to spread saying that Haliey was a school teacher, but this will get turned down in the first interview that she would partake in after the Hawk Tuah clip.
I worked in a spring factory. I'm not a school teacher.
That was my next question, because
Or a
everyone said that
bartender.
you were a teacher and got fired from your job.
No.
And on this Plan B interview, Haliey also gave out insights as to what she was planning for her near and long-term future.
Now is like you're going to go to LA, you're going to go to New York.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you see yourself like starting your own type of like show or podcast, or are you just going to be like an internet personality?
I think we're going to do like a show, and then we're just going to be like on a bunch of podcasts and everything else in between.
Cool.
But-
So kind of just figuring out as you go.
Oh, yeah. There's more to come. Don't worry.
And she wasn't playing around when she had said that. Haliey had already been making some moves on the scene, with already getting a management team at that time. She filed trademarks under her new aptly named company, 16 Minutes, where it started off in the apparel and entertainment categories, and then further went into trademarking more specific phrases like Hawk Sauce, Hawk Tuah Sauce, and Bet on That Thing. Her Hawk Tuah merch went on to get a deal with the American retail store Spencer's. Along with these new beginnings of hers, she also made an Instagram and an X account, and later on she made a fanfics account as well, which is like, I think, a PG version of OF, and she likely got a deal with them here because I don't think that any of us have ever heard of it before. Haliey had also apparently signed a Kick deal, which ended up only having her do one stream on October 5th, nothing more after that. She also apparently got paid $30,000 to show up at a nightclub in Miami once, and during this time too, there were also reports that Haliey was closing in on a deal to star in a reality series about her, which didn't come into fruition, at least for now. Oh, and she also made an app called Pookie Tools, which from reading the description, is just an AI app that helps you navigate the dating scene on the internet. And along with all that too, we also got a report saying that she had turned down several offers to star in movies. Haliey also had other experiences be provided to her, which made the rounds in discussion, like when she had went up on stage in a Zach Bryan concert, linked up with Shaq, and made the first pitch at a Mets game. But perhaps one of her biggest ones was when she had floor seats at a Jake Paul fight, with Lil Pump sitting right next to her. The reason I say that this was probably one of her bigger experiences was because she would later go on to work with Jake himself and his sports betting company, Better. In September of 2024, a trailer/announcement video was released showing that Haliey Welch was now going to be having her very own podcast show, funnily enough, having it be titled Hawk Tuah. And you can see the Better branding around this video and announcement, and even be on the logo of the show. While many people were quick to make fun of the concept of listening to the Hawk Tuah Girl speak on her own podcast, during this time, Haliey was actually kind of losing momentum and steam in terms of relevancy. But now that this podcast show was going to be a thing, there was basically this new dynamic to the Hawk Tuah meme, in that now instead of clowning on the phrase itself, this new making fun of the Hawk Tuah show was going to be poking fun at Haliey and any discussions and moments that took place on the show itself. And the point to prove this, you were able to see it in the very first episode when Whitney Cummings came on to be a guest on the debut episode of Hawk Tuah, with Haliey and her friend Chelsea leading the show. You've probably already seen these clips, but be warned, cringe is about to appear right in front of you.
Shit on that thing!
That respect.
Hawk Tuah.
There you go.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh.
And it usually comes out in your...
And your poochie banana? What the fuck?
These moments right here went on to not only get clipped onto platforms like TikTok to be made fun of, but people started going out of their way to record themselves reacting to the podcast and praise the ever-living hell out of the content that was coming out of Miss Haliey Welch's show. As that debut episode went on to gain millions of views over its lifetime, Haliey's subsequent episodes over the coming months also went on to do very well, as she got some pretty notable guests on the show such as JoJo Siwa, Wiz Khalifa, her boyfriend Pookie if you want to count him, and even the multi-billionaire businessman Mark Cuban. The ironic enjoying of the show from some of the audience was shown in the comments, as they also played into the joke/meme that the Talk to a podcast was a groundbreaking, life-changing platform to have only the most profound and philosophical discussions known to man. Isn't that right, Jake?
Well, thank you for coming on my cringy podcast.
Hey, I don't think it's cringy. I really like where you guys are going with the science and the history of civilization and just being able to explore and break down barriers of human philosophy.
I still don't even know what philosophy means.
It's just an honor to be pushing humanity forward in that type of way. So I think that's where the vision came from for her to really
Okay, we'll see about that, Mr. Better. One more thing before we get to the end of this section here is that around the time of Talk Tuah becoming this whole meme, KSI had released his heavily critiqued / roasted song, Think of It, and both him and Logan's Prime brand teamed up with Mr. Beast Feastables to launch a Lunchable competitor named Lunchly. These three memeable items / subjects were then combined in the meme space, where the gist of it was that someone would enjoy eating Lunchly with their Prime drink as they were watching Talk Tuah with KSI's Think of It playing in the background. The reason that I mentioned this is because it actually was a huge meme to combine them all, and with Logan also making a promo video for Lunchy where he had said this.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
This also went on to become a meme, and it all came full circle / meme status when Haliey Welch herself would combine everything and make this video.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
But now going back to the topic of the Talk Tuah podcast itself, the show was chugging along very well, and Haliey was just feeling on top of the world up until the very last episode that she had in the year of 2024 on December 3rd, where after she had titled the 13th episode, How to Avoid Getting Cancelled with Brooke Schofield. Oh dude, this is so eerie looking back at it now. That was the last episode that she would upload onto the YouTube channel for a while, as on the very next day, she would be faced with the opportunity to show if she would have any skills in avoiding getting cancelled. Let's get into the Hawk coin situation. So in early December, Haliey promoted this new Hawk coin of hers to her followers on the X platform.
My Hawk meme coin is live!
And already many of us out here who have seen the horror stories from 2021 and onwards, with the epidemic of influencers promoting NFTs and shitcoins, we already knew where this was going to be heading. An influencer promotes a coin for money, a pump and dump happens, fans lose their money, the malicious parties profit, and the influencer goes on about their day. And CoffeeZilla, someone who is very knowledgeable in the crypto space and the frauds and scams that plague it, spoke out on Hawk coin as soon as he saw it, saying, please do not put your money in Hawk Tuah coin. The coin launched though, and people did end up losing money. Surprise, surprise. Whether it was actual unsuspecting fans or people trying to pull a quick one with their own trades, they ended up buying into it and lost their investments, and I'm using that word very lightly here. This shit was bound to lose you money, dude. Come on now. But anywho, if that sounds familiar to you, we'll get to that in a bit. Coffee was not pleased at all with the launch of the coin, as the value of it immediately tanked as suspected, and he went into an X space where he actually confronted Haliey Welch and some of the folks around her.
I have questions. I'm raising my hand. Hey guys.
What CoffeeZilla?
Hey, this is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
I've been tracing it on chain for a while. You guys generated over $1 million in fees while y'all's fans got rug pulled.
They have a whole call where Coffee asked them questions which they couldn't answer properly without giving their actions and true intentions away, and it just had the whole Hawk Tuah Girl party and coin looking bad, to the point where later, when they were getting confronted again, Haliey just thought that it was the perfect time to hit the hay.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
We actually wouldn't hear anything from her for a while, but law firms started to look into the situation, and reports also started coming out saying that she was getting sued for the whole fiasco. And one more thing that happened during this whole thing when Haliey was away from social media was that before all of this took place, she had filmed some bits for a segment on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and while they had showed the parts that she had acted in, the show still took a dig at her in regards to the Hawk coin situation.
You made a movie with the Hawk Tuah Girl?
Can you believe it?
Did you hear about the crypto thing with her?
Hear about it? She paid me in it.
I guess you haven't seen the news. Her coin lost like 98% of its value.
It did?
Yeah.
But just a bit over 2 silent weeks later, since the Hawk coin happening, Haliey's fortnight-long nap eventually came to an end, as she then broke her silence on social media and put out this post on X where it read out, I take this situation extremely seriously and want to address my fans. The investors who have been affected, and the broader community. I am fully cooperating with and am committed to assisting the legal team representing the individuals impacted, as well as to help uncover the truth, hold the responsible parties accountable, and resolve this matter. If you have experienced losses related to this, please contact Berwick public law using the link below. And from there, we wouldn't hear anything in regards to Miss Haliey up until about 2 months later on February 6th of 2025, when FaZe Banks, someone who is very well versed in the crypto space, he put out this post onto his X account with a picture of him on the Talk Tuah podcast set, along with some colleagues accompanying him. The text on the post is pretty lengthy, but the gist of it is that Banks reveals to us that he was supposed to be on the returning episode of Talk Tuah to talk about the whole Hawk Coin situation and get her side of the story. But either Haliey or her incompetent team completely leaked the episode in what may have seemed as a last-ditch effort to profit some more on the hype of the coin being talked about, and that pissed off Banks to the point of him making this post. Oh, and he also said this. I'll give you a second to read that. But yeah, the episode right now is leaked out there still, if you just look it up, and if you watch it, it gives various insights on the whole Hawk Coin situation and how Haliey benefited from it, even though it completely froze her career for months on end.
Do they offer you money up front, part of the tokens? Like, how did that work?
The deal that she did was like a brand image likeness deal where they paid her $125,000 up front.
And if you're wondering if her boyfriend Pookie had any involvement in this, Haliey had this to say.
How's Pookie doing?
Pookie lost money in it too.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Pookie. Poor Pookie.
He said, "How are you going to take my money?" I said, "I didn't do it."
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad.
He still gives me shit about it all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I wish I had my..." Can I say how much?
Yeah.
I wish I had my $300 back. I was like, well.
It could have been worse. But yeah, that episode leaks, and CoffeeZilla goes on to talk about it and kind of reveals something interesting, that Haliey's team essentially had sent out an offer to him beforehand.
And I also thought this was weird because Haliey Welch's lawyer invited me on the show. In fact, like really, really wanted me on their show and kept telling me how much Haliey Welch liked me. Haliey would like to have you on as a guest on her podcast. You'd be the first guest since the failed crypto token launch and would get significant amount of views, would be very friendly. This guy must not know me. She really likes you. Wow.
Coffee goes on to still criticize the whole project at hand and the parties involved. But now, moving on. That Banks and Talk Tuah stuff took place in early February of 2025, and we once again wouldn't hear anything out of Haliey for quite a while. Actually, it would be over a month later on March 25th when she would make an actual official return with a whole Instagram video and everything. And side note, her X account got suspended, and from what I can recall, after she had made that December post acknowledging the faults of Hawk Coin, much later, I don't know if the account got deactivated or hacked or something, but it later appeared that someone else had taken the username and was impersonating the @Haliey Welch X account, and thus had now gotten the username suspended when you search it up. That's what I believe happened, but I'm not sure about that. But anywho, going back to where we were, Haliey on March 25th posted this video onto her Instagram account, which showed that she was officially coming back to the internet.
Get your ass up. We got stuff to do.
And not just that too, but on that day we got reports that she was actually going to be getting her own documentary, which is being dubbed as Hawk Tuah. So there's that to look forward to. And then 3 days later, we came back to the Hawk Coin situation, as Haliey went on to say that the SEC closed its investigation into her crypto meme coin situation, and that they will not be pursuing any charges or monetary sanctions. And to that, CoffeeZilla saw that post and just simply said in a disappointed manner that crime is legal. In regards to the comeback video that Haliey did, she did in fact return and started up the Talk Tuah podcast once again, with this time the first guest back being KSI. Now, this episode was interesting as KSI, we all know, is mortal enemies with Jake Paul. He said something right at the start of when they were talking that hinted that something happened between Jake's Better Company and the returning Talk Tuah podcast that is run by Haliey.
I'm glad you're free from his grasp and are able to flourish and be, well, one of the best podcasts.
Now we're the official owners of Talk Tuah.
As you may have probably noticed, all previous episodes before the crypto situation had the Better logo at the top right, obviously showing that Better was basically funding or sponsoring the show. But now after returning since Hawk Coin Mania, none of the new episodes have the Better logo anywhere. And seeing that this is the case, it makes you wonder if Haliey was petty in the fact that KSI was the first official guest back publicly on the Talk Tuah YouTube channel. Oh, and if you're wondering, the leaked Banks episode did not have the Better logo either, so ties appear to have been cut off even before then, but still after the crypto situation took place.
Oh shit, so now he's fucking famous somehow and I'm famous.
Yo, you're in trouble.
Why? Oh shit.
That crypto shit.
And just more as of recently, Haliey made a Talk Tuah podcast episode, quote unquote, telling all on the crypto incident. In here, she basically just says that she's the victim and goes into some of the finance regarding what she got out in the end.
So the only thing I made from the, well, it wasn't even from the coin. I got paid a marketing fee. That's all I made. I did not make a dime from the coin itself.
You got paid for promoting it, or?
Just promoting it and putting all the work into it, like the videos and stuff. The coin itself, like anything that was raised from that coin, I did not make a dime off of it. But at this point, like everything I paid for, like PR crisis, a new lawyer, stuff like that.
All that money went to that?
Every bit of it went to that. So, I mean, I've really come out with nothing.
Although she says stuff like that where, yeah, sure, that sucks for you, there were other frustrating moments in the video, like when she had said that she didn't even run her ex account, which I remember when that account was active, she would straight up try to argue with users on the platform, acting like as if she actually did run the account. Now you want to say that you didn't run it? And then Haliey also talks about how she went to this Bitcoin conference thing and didn't know what was going on or really learn anything, but still she went through this whole meme coin thing. So many criticizable things in which when you look at the comments, they are just eating her up, and it wouldn't just be getting blasted online where Haliey would just be getting heat from. She then tells us an account of how it has even affected the people around her in her real life and those around them.
But I made Pookie put some money in on it. He lost $300 and also went around work promoting it. So all the people he worked with were pissed off at him too.
Did people from his work also?
Yeah, they also lost money, and they go up to Kelby at work and be like, yeah, your girlfriend's a fucking bitch.
Oh, and as for overall estimates on what was lost for, I guess, the average person that put their money in Hawk Coin, Haliey says this.
So did anyone actually lose money from the coin?
See, that's the part I asked about too. So evidently there was like 1.2 million that got lost, but then they done some research and it was like 180K of people's like real money that got lost. Like the rest of it was just like, I don't know, scammers, snipers, whatever they call them on there.
Oh, and not really an important detail, but I just thought this part was funny. When Haliey was talking about Face Banks, she brought up the expose of where he said that he was just trying to pipe, and she responded to it with this.
He posted a tweet trying to crack me, and I be damned because that's just fucking wrong and nasty. Bonnie Blue can have that shit.
He did crack that too.
Yeah, he did. Nasty ass motherfucker.
So yeah, that's where we're at now. When you look at the Talk Tuah channel and compare it to where it was then, when last year it was doing hundreds of thousands of views pretty easily, the podcast episodes now in this new run are struggling to hit 100K. These over here struggling for 30K, or this one here not even getting to 20. The Talk Tuah podcast is at an all-time low compared to where it was back then, where not only was it flourishing on YouTube, but it had even made it to the top charts on Spotify during its initial run. Now the show seems to be a shell of its former self, with tons of hate comments just flooding below the videos. But hey, I guess that's what happens when you aren't careful with your newfound fame and popularity and fly too close to the sun. Now, the things to look forward to for Haliey Welch is that Hawk Tuah documentary that I had mentioned earlier, and a role in this new comedy series called Chad Powers, where she will be playing, drumroll please, the Hawk Tuah Girl. Yeah, I think those 16 minutes are up, and what a way to go, man. All because of that crypto shit. Anywho, that'll be the end of this video. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in another one.
Pouring out my heart to a stranger, but I didn't pour the whiskey.